All right, so let's talk about the top 5 neighborhoods in Arlington.
So we're going to start off with Fairlington.
Oh, this is where Fairlington is located at. What's really nice about the Fairlington area is that you're super close. Parts of the neighborhood butts up right to 395, so you're going to have quick access to the interstate, which, you know, where you work is going to be just as important as where you live. Fairlington is also 3.5 miles away from the Pentagon, right over here. It's only 7 miles away from DC, which is right over here. And then Crystal City is this little section right here, so it's 3.8 miles. Crystal City, just so you can know, is just south of the Pentagon. And then Tyson's Corner is going to be right over here off of 95, right? And so that's going to be 16.5 miles.
Now, Fairlington is actually going to be made up of 7 different condo associations. It is garden style condos, so you're looking at usually finding a 1-level flat or up to 3-bedroom townhouse style condos. Now, although it's 7 different associations, they share community resources as far as their clubhouse, the pool, the tennis area, as well as the tot lots.
What's cool about Fairlington, because we've actually done a couple transactions in this neighborhood, is that the backyards for these condos are quite large.
For the townhouses, yeah.
So I think that if you are able to secure yourself a townhouse, if you're in that price range, then you'll be fairly pleased with your backyard space, which is cool. I also like that this is a very active community. Every time I'm going to show properties here or to meet with a seller client here, there are usually people either running or they're outside with their little ones.
Are there dogs? This is a big dog community here. There are lots of pet owners in the area, so you see lots of folks walking around with their dogs. There's always lots of foot traffic no matter what time of day you stop by. And the only negative thing I have to say is that parking can be a little bit of a hassle. Most places only have 1 assigned parking spot, if any, and you'll see there's lots of cars on the street, so that's a lot of parallel parking. Depending on the time of day, sometimes it can be hard finding a parking spot near your property. But that's really the only downside I can say. So this is actually the most affordable neighborhood on our list today. So the average sales price is going to be $516,000. Average days on market was 15 days, and 225 units were sold between those 7 condominiums. So that's going to be the most transactions that we're going to see in any one place. And so this is an example of a townhouse.
1 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,700 square feet.
And this one sold at $510,000.
Nice layout. I find that, you know, it is an older development, so the layouts are going to be not necessarily open per se.
That's true.
But I still find that there, you know, it's appropriate amount of space. The next place we're going to talk about is Ballston.
Ballston. They're so close to one another. The area is actually considered the Ballston, Virginia Square area. So Ballston, Virginia Square is one of the urban villages in Arlington, located at the endpoint of the Roslyn-Ballston corridor. So this is Arlington's downtown area. It really is a hub for entertainment and different things to do in the area.
Absolutely. It's quite walkable. There's also so many things to do in this particular area, either from restaurants or just some parks and whatnot. Ballston is going to be 3.5 miles from the Pentagon, 5 miles from downtown DC, 4.5 miles to Crystal City, which is going to be right here where Amazon HQ2 is located, and then 7.5 miles to the Tyson's Corner area right over here off of 95. If you live in the Ballston area, you can get to almost anywhere very fast.
The average sales price in 2021 was $726,000 with a low of $323,000 and a high of $1.9 million. The average days on market was 25, and the number of homes sold in the Ballston, Virginia Square area was 123. Now, one thing I want to point out about the area is where we're looking at right now, you're going to see a lot of high rises, and honestly, condos make up the bulk of the transactions in Ballston. But one cool thing about Ballston is although you do see a lot of apartment and condo style living, you have all different types of properties available in the area. So there are single family homes and there also are townhouses. They're just going to be few and far between. Right here we have a unit that is on the market for $720,000. It is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in a high rise, which like I said, that's mostly what we're going to see. Let's take a look at this property here.
A more open floor plan, which is understandable based on like the age of these particular units. This one has a balcony as well, so of course that price point will determine what type of amenities you have.
Now, if you are in the middle of the process, or even thinking about taking the next step in the process, reach out to us. Down below in the description, you are going to find the perfect home questionnaire. You fill that out and one of us will reach out to you to schedule a one-on-one perfect perfect home consultation where you'll meet with us via Zoom and talk about your plans to relocate to the area in the future.
So our next place is Clarendon, also known as Courthouse.
This is going to be just like the Boston, Virginia Square area, and it's actually a running theme throughout the Arlington area in that some of these subdivisions are so close to each other, our neighborhoods are so close that the names being used interchangeably. So the borders of Clarendon are hardly fixed, and because of that, it kind of bleeds into Courthouse. And so when people are referring to the area, even if you just Google Clarendon, which is how I pulled the map up, you'll see it actually says Courthouse on the screen, and that's because even with Google, the two are interchangeable.
Yes. What's nice about the Clarendon area is that you're only 2.5 miles from the Pentagon, so right on the other side of Arlington Cemetery. Then you're 4.5 miles from downtown DC, 4.5 miles from Crystal City, which is right over here next to the National Airport, and then you're 9 miles from Tyson's Corner over here. So super conveniently located. Look at that.
Super conveniently located.
Single-digit distances. My goodness.
2 metro lines. You have the Courthouse and also the Clarendon Metro. This is going to be a little bit more of a busy area than Boston, meaning that it's busy all day. And what we find here is, again, we're going to see a lot of the condos in this area. The average sales price is going to be $803,000. The low was $275,000, and the high was actually $2.7 million. Just like in Boston, you can find different types of homes, but the bulk of them are going to be in these mid to high rise condos. It is more of like a compact urban or suburban area within the suburbs of Northern Virginia. So right here we have a unit that sold a few months ago, actually just closed at the end of last year at $828,000. And so it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square foot condo.
This is gorgeous.
Open floor plan.
I like the flooring in this little property here.
So this kind of gives you an example of what you're going to see as far as quality. A little more high end. If you compare it to, let's say, the condos in Fairlington, you're going to see is a lot newer, obviously. A lot newer buildings, open concepts, but also a $300,000 price difference as far as average sales price.
Right. So our next place that we're going to visit in Arlington is going to be Lion Village. I got to say, Lion Village is one of the hot neighborhood, depending on your price point, but it's so close to things.
It has some absolutely beautiful homes. I love the different mix of styles as far as homes. You have a lot of older colonials mixed in with some custom builds and some craftsmen.
So it's 4 miles from the Pentagon, 4.5 miles from downtown DC, 6 miles to Crystal City, and only 9 miles to Tyson. So again, single-digit distances.
Now, the average sales price, as I said, is the highest on today's list. It's $1,622,000. Now, at that price point, you might think that it takes a little longer for properties to sell, but we're looking at only 18 days on market is the average days on market in 2021, and there were 46 transactions last year.
There's some houses that are also being redeveloped, but you also see, at least from the photos I saw online, that you see a lot of individuals just doing nice remodels.
So that's actually true of this neighborhood as well as the next neighborhood we're going to talk about. A lot of people renovate, rehab their homes, and stay put. Because the homes are a little bit older, people will just work on their homes rather than sell them.
Right.
Now, this neighborhood is known as a very family-oriented, community-centered neighborhood. I have to say their website is fantastic as far as sharing information of what's going on in the community. Their HOA is very involved. They have a number of events throughout the year that are hosted through the association. So very desirable neighborhood. We're going to take a look at a recent sale. This sold last year for $1.5. Well manicured lawn, nice brick driveway.
Cute backyard.
As you can see, older home, but well taken care of.
So our last place on the list today is going to be Arlington Ridge or Aurora Highlands.
So Arlington Ridge, Aurora Highlands, at a glance, the average sales price was just under $1.1 million, and 22 was the average days on market, and 39 units sold last year.
If you're looking to move as close as possible to the Amazon HQ2, this is going to be your neighborhood of choice.
And the Pentagon.
And the Pentagon, that's true. Just because Amazon is building out all throughout this little area here. You're only 1.5 miles to the Pentagon. That's insane.
Yes, it's just south of Pentagon City and west of Crystal City.
Yeah.
So very convenient neighborhood if you need easy access to different parts of town.
That's true. Also, it's only 5 miles to downtown DC, 3.5 miles to the Crystal City area, and then Tyson's Corner is 10 miles away from this particular location.
I mean, this is a great location if you need to be able to get to the city quickly. You can get to DC in just a matter of minutes from this location. So I think that's the biggest selling point for this neighborhood is this location. Its proximity to so much. You can get to a lot quickly from this neighborhood. Just like the last neighborhood, you're not going to see a whole lot of new construction, but there are some, and no two homes are alike. And I love that when a neighborhood has its own feel, because a lot of times, even with older homes, you'll see that when they were built by one builder or one designer, a lot of the homes look alike, and that's just not the case in this neighborhood. There's a lot more personality. Just like the last neighborhood, where they have a lot of different events that go on throughout the association, there are a lot of events not necessarily tied to the association in this area, but actually just the location. And so a lot of residents enjoy like seasonal outdoor activities. So this is a property that sold for just over $1 million. Now, one thing I find interesting is the elevation changes in the area. So sometimes the homes are on a hill, like this one here, which leads to a very interesting front yard.
And so as you can see from this particular property, you know, it is an older style home, so you're not going to necessarily have the open floor plan with these newer properties. That's Arlington top 5 neighborhoods that we think that you should start your search with. So if you want to talk about your personal journey to this area, there's a link in the description to our perfect home questionnaire. Click on that link, fill out the form, and then we'll schedule a time to meet online via Zoom and answer any questions you have about PCSing to the area. So thank you so much for joining us on this show.
And we will catch you guys next week. Enjoy your weekend.
Peace.